If you've been watching the videos up to this point, you've probably figured out that if my suggestions are implemented, then colleges will be financially impacted. Specifically, my suggestions will lead to colleges receiving less tuition money than they currently do. Since tuition is a big revenue source for colleges, this means that they'll need to do two things: cut costs and raise other forms of revenue. Let's focus on cost cutting in this video. To start out, let's talk about cost cutting in general. There's already lots of ideas on cost-cutting initiatives for colleges, and most of these initiatives are the same ones that businesses use. Examples include reducing staff, consolidating departments, selling real estate, and optimizing sourcing and technology. Really nothing new here. The only thing is that colleges actually need to follow through and implement these initiatives. One huge cost savings area that I want to talk about is college real estate. In one of the earliest videos in this series, I talked about all the buildings that exist on college campuses. These buildings include classroom buildings, student centers, labs, rec centers, dorms, dining halls, administrative buildings, police departments, athletic facilities, and so on. The amount of real estate on college campuses is staggering, and the cost to build, operate, and maintain those buildings is really high. So one huge area that colleges can look to for cost savings is their own real estate strategy. A couple thoughts related to college real estate. First, all colleges should track the occupancy of rooms within every building on their campus. For example, I want to know the occupancy percentage of every room for every hour from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Let's build this idea out. Imagine a classroom with a maximum occupancy of 30 people. You might not realize it, but this room costs money. It costs money to build it, it costs money to heat and cool it, and the furniture and technology in it costs money. So students and professors should obviously be using this room, or else they're wasting money. There are 10 hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., so going back to my example room, if there were 30 people in the room for each hour, which would be maximum occupancy, then that means there are 300 slots for people to use that room during the 10-hour window. But let's say that we find out that only 60 slots were used for that room during the window. The occupancy rate in that case is only 20%, which is calculated by dividing 60 slots by 300 slots. Obviously, a 20% occupancy rate is nowhere close to 100%. An occupancy rate for any room below 50% seems like a waste of money, so colleges could look to repurpose or divest these rooms or buildings. There is software that colleges can use to analyze occupancy rates. There are a couple of other uses of college real estate that baffle me. The first is the proliferation of smaller study rooms or group collaboration rooms. As mentioned, building and maintaining any real estate, including these small rooms, is expensive. I'm not sure a ton of these small rooms should exist because instead of using them, students could use unoccupied classrooms, or they could meet in common areas, or they could meet somewhere else in public. The second is offices for professors and administrators. In general, I think eliminating most private offices is a good idea, especially in a world where many employees consider remote work to be a benefit. If professors need to meet with students for office hours, or if administrators need to be in office for certain activities, then they can just use shared office space. One final note before we end. Some of the ideas I've provided in previous videos will naturally reduce costs. For example, my idea is to eliminate gen ed classes and to streamline major classes should, in theory, reduce the demand for college employees who help with course selection and scheduling.